Well, let's bring in Mouin Rabbani. He's co-editor of Jarrah. That's an independent online magazine produced by the Arab Studies Institute. He joins us via Skype from The Hague in the Netherlands. Mouin, good to have you back. So Israel's Supreme Court has delayed the hearing of this planned eviction, as Harry was saying there, of these Palestinians from Sheikh Jarrah. How significant is this? And isn't this just delaying the inevitable?
Yes, I mean, I think when it comes to relations with the Palestinians, the Israeli judiciary has always been subordinate to government policy. And I think what's happened here is that they've seen the gathering intensification of Palestinian protests, not only in Jerusalem, but very worryingly for the Israeli government, also extending to Palestinian communities within Israel as well, also in the Arab world. And I think what they're hoping to do is to try to take the wind out of the sails of these growing demonstrations. At the same time, it really amounts to nothing more than a stay of execution, because the Israeli government's policy with respect to East Jerusalem is very clear, that it is exclusively Israeli territory. It is a territory in which only Israeli Jews have rights and in which Palestinians have none. And that will be the operative principle moving forward.
Yeah, and the UN Security Council will be meeting to discuss this violence we've seen around the Al-Aqsa Mosque. How much does this add to the international chorus of condemnation against Israel?
Well, this is, I think, a critical question. This issue of the effectively the ethnic cleansing of Sheikh Jarrah is the first real test for the Biden administration. I think it's safe to assume that there's more going on behind the scenes than we're able to view publicly. But at the same time, you know, if one looks, for example, at the public statements being made by the State Department, which condemns attacks on Israeli soldiers rather than by Israeli soldiers, who have basically been rioting against Palestinians at the Al-Aqsa Mosque and elsewhere for the past several days, it does give the indication that under current management, Washington still considers Israeli impunity to be a sacred principle. And so therefore, it'll be very interesting to see what, if anything, comes out of this session of the Security Council, which is being called to consider this question.
Yeah. Mouin, just a final point to you, because the impending Sheikh Jarrah evictions have become, I guess, a rallying cry for the Palestinians. How much is this case seen as a microcosm for the broader unresolved issue that Palestinians, as you say, are still under Israeli occupation, and Middle East peace is even further away than ever before?
Well, I think it's very much a central issue. I mean, Jerusalem is not only a Palestinian, but also an Arab and also a Muslim and Christian issue. And therefore, I think, you know, if there's one thing that's still capable of mobilizing Palestinians everywhere, despite the best efforts of the current leadership of the Palestinian Authority, it's very much Jerusalem. And I think the mobilization we've seen among Palestinians in the past several days very much attests to that.
Mouin Rabbani, great to get your thoughts. Thank you very much indeed for talking to Al Jazeera.
Thank you.